Hey everyone, sorry about that. I was doing some stuff on the computer, looked around, and I noticed that I did not hook up my microphone. I have a, what do you call those damn things? Oh, it's a mixer. I can't pick it up and move it because the cord's not long enough. But I have a mixer because I bought a new mic. I bought like a real mic. So it's like, yeah, all right, fine, yeah. But the mixer doesn't have an on-off button because I didn't need anything big and fancy for this. It's a cheap one, but it gets the job done. So in order to turn it on, I have to physically plug it in, and I haven't had it for very long. It's a week or two maybe, so I'm still not quite used to it, I guess, because I made 2 videos with no sound on it at all. It just went completely over my head, so whatever. It's all good though. I mean, here we go. We'll get her done. So my name is Jeremy. I make 2 videos a day, Monday through Friday. The first one, this one, is practical, focused improvement stuff where I want to do things that are really practical with kind of everyone's life. I've given a little spin on the title by calling it Creating a Noble House, because my childhood was trash, we'll put it that way, and I don't want it ever to happen again. And it's like, well, why not monetize it and, you know, see about helping anyone else out there who maybe also have trash parents. So we are, I guess for the most part, going to wrap this up on oral hygiene, and that's because my items came in. I've used them, and I don't really think there's too much to do, except I might give little updates here and there. But for the most part, I think this is going to be, might do it again maybe in 6 months on another video about whitening teeth, but I really don't give a damn about that, at least not right now. I'm going to wait to see how this goes, because whenever you use whitening stuff, it can be harmful to your teeth depending on the product. And so it's like, well, let me kind of fix any kind of problems that I might have with my teeth or my gums. I really don't have anything too bad. It's not like my gums are just bleeding and black and cavities, or nothing like that. And so if you too are interested in, you know, making things better for you in some way, then I highly suggest pay attention by subscribing, and it would also help me out if you would give the video a thumbs up. So I've bought a couple of items from the store, which I probably will not do again, and then I have ordered some items that have come in. There was one that didn't come in just yet. It might be tomorrow, but I really don't care. It's just a simple set of dental tools that you use to kind of scrape your mouth. It's like, why should I have to pay a dentist to do that whenever I can just buy some tools on the cheap and just do it myself? Because it's just stainless steel instruments that just have a little point to them. It's like, I can absolutely 100% do that. So get the hell out of here. No. And so I have the mouthwash, I have these little dental picks, and I have the water flosser that all came on in. But to kind of recap, since this will kind of be the last one, at least for a good while, at least, is that above my head I have a word pad where I have kind of the pertinent information. We watched several videos about what's good oral hygiene, what's not. And this is what I'd had from here on down. Several of them were talking about electric circular toothbrushes being just so much better than just a normal toothbrush. And part of it is that you want a smaller head, and those are smaller. So then that way it's easier to get in between the teeth and to kind of ride along the gum line with your tooth as well. So in between and on the gum line, to really help get all the stuff that you need to. So we're just going to go over the bullet points. It's trying to condense all the information and to just kind of get on with it. You know, I don't need to hear the whole story about every damn thing that's led you up to this point. Just get to it. So they said things like, you don't want to brush too hard or it will cause harm to your teeth and your gums. And so that will cause receding gum lines to happen, and you're going to kind of get that regardless. But it can be really bad or just really kind of minor, depending on how you're treating yourself. And if you're too hard on your teeth, then it'll take off the enamel. Like, well, that's kind of how it is with a lot of things. I mean, if you just actually just go out and you wash your car with something that's just mildly abrasive, if you just apply enough pressure over time, you'll take the paint off the car. You know, that's why sponges are soft, and you do it while with a hose, and you hose it all down so it's all wet and slippery, because you're not trying to take the paint off, you're just trying to get the dirt off. And so the same thing with your teeth, you're not trying to take the enamel off, you're just trying to get the plaque off. Everyone was just like, brush at least 2 times a day. Whenever I was a kid, it was 3 times a day, and it never made sense to me because they would always say you need to brush after each meal. It's like, that I understood, but that would mean taking your toothbrush and toothpaste with you to school and doing it at school. They never said to do that either. It was like, well, what is it? You know, because after lunch, it's like, should we all be doing this? No, you're not going to tell us to do it, so maybe it's not that important. What are you saying? Just kind of incomplete, I guess you could say. So whenever you do brush your teeth, that you do want to focus more on your teeth than on your gums, because that is where most of the plaque kind of builds up, is on your teeth. I guess it doesn't get on your gums. They didn't really make that too clear. With electric circular toothbrushes, they're better because they're going to kind of get all over, and you want a smaller head and not a larger one. And I don't know if they come in different size heads. I just always kind of assumed they were kind of the same size, but maybe they're not. Whenever you're done, you want to spit out the toothpaste, but that's it. You don't want to rinse out your mouth, and that's because you want all that stuff that you have there to sit on your teeth and give it a chance to actually do what it's supposed to do. And I've heard this several times before. This wasn't anything new that I'd heard from the videos. I don't do that. I never have. I don't know if I will. If this stuff works out and maybe I need a little bit more, maybe I'll start to do it then, but I just don't see myself doing that as of now. Then after you brush your teeth, you do want to wait at least 30 minutes before you eat or drink. And it's just, I think that's just kind of reinforcing, you know, kind of keeping this all in your mouth and giving it a chance to actually do its job thoroughly. As to which 2 times that you want to brush, they really didn't suggest one time for the day as being better than any others. For me personally, I know what I'm going to do, and that is I get up, I have a couple of eggs and some coffee, and then whenever I'm done with that, that's whenever I'm going to brush. Because I usually do that pretty soon after I wake up. And I think it's kind of ridiculous to brush your teeth and then eat. And it's like, yeah, you're going to eat breakfast, so yeah. But in the evening, they were all, after you're done eating, before you go to bed, somewhere kind of, whenever those 2 things in that time frame, it's going to be different from person to person. So I'm just going, I guess it really wouldn't matter if you did it immediately after you were done eating or right before you went to bed. I'm probably not going to set that down in stone, and that's just because even though I may be done eating at my regularly scheduled time, that doesn't mean that something else may not come on up, and it kind of, I'm off doing something else, I eat or drink something, so I don't know, I'll kind of take it with a grain of salt. Then the water flosser did come in. The things that I did want was that I did want it to be plug-in. I didn't want a battery operated. I wanted one with a large tank and multi-setting on the pressure with it. And they said, yes, with this, you once a day is enough. You want to do it before you go to bed, whenever you're done with all of your eating. You do want to use it first and then brush your teeth. And so this is it. I'm not going to go grab it. I did use it, and I like it. It is the True Will Oral Water Flosser Irrigator. It comes with several different types of heads. You get 3 of this kind, 1 of each. I'll pull this on up. It's from right here. It's 40 bucks from Amazon. I actually found it on eBay for 20 bucks. It was open, but everything was still packaged. So I did go ahead and go grab this. This is the top. It's the lid at the very top. And it opens up and it stores all of the different heads that are with it. This one is for scraping at your tongue. I don't know why you would want that, because you can just do that with a toothbrush. And then you have 3 of these. I don't know why you want this one that has this. I guess is it a brush? Oh, it's a brush. And then you have a second blue brush right here. And then you have another brush here. I don't know why you would want those either. I mean, and it's because it doesn't have... I have an electric circular toothbrush, and it has a motor to it in the handle, and it makes the bristles spin. This one... Well, this one spins too. I guess the water pressure might do it. I'm not interested in it. I have just a little cheap $10 one. I'm perfectly happy and fine with it. And then here's the second one. There's 3 of these. There's one here, there's one up here, and then I'm using the third one, and then another one here. Now this one is just a rubber tip. This one doesn't have any bristles on it. It looks like there's a little hole in it, so it does shoot out water. I tried forever to get these stupid things to fit in. This was the only one at the top that would fit in right here. And even that doesn't fit in real well. Some of those top bristles are up against this, being pushed down. So I don't know how good that is. Having a large tank is an absolute must. I fill that tank up. I've used it twice now just to get the feel for it a little bit, before I made the video. And you go through that tank. The little turn knob on it, I think about 5 is good. I was thinking it was going to just kind of be like a water hose and just do a continuous spray, but it's more of a pump and it just shoots out bursts instead. But if you do kind of go all the way up to the max 10, it is pumping it out so fast that it's practically just kind of a continuous spray. It's pretty strong too. I mean, it's uncomfortable, but I just don't see why I'm just not going to adjust to that at all. I think I'll completely adapt to it. Also, you have a little coil of the hose right here. I don't know if they have them any smaller, but that would be something to be aware of. I think this length is good. It handles it just well. You do want to do it over the sink because it's just going to go just all over the place. The second time, though, I did it, though, I did keep my mouth shut and then let a lot of it come out at once instead of continuously dripping and then hit it again. It was obviously easier to attack it from the outside in instead of being on the inside out. But I like it. Each time that I did it, there were food particles and stuff that were coming out, things that I'd missed, and it's like, fantastic. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. I also got these dental picks. We'll see if we can show them here. They are very soft. On the tips, they have little bristles on them. You can kind of see them there. And those little things are super soft. They just give way like nothing. It's very easy. They're much softer than the bristles on a toothbrush. But now the whole light blue tip right there, that's stronger than the bristle of a toothbrush. It still gives. There's still a lot of play. And I was able to work it real well, again, going from the outside in and getting in between my teeth, much harder from the inside. It too wasn't very comfortable either, but again, I think that as I do it, it's all going to strengthen, and it's just not going to be an issue at all. It also came with, there's 12 of these. Yep, 12 of these. It's 6 with 2 on top of each other. I guess it's for traveling, perhaps. Maybe for you and the family. And it just all came in like this. It had a cardboard back to it. I just ripped the cardboard off, and I'm just going to use the plastic portion of the container to hold the spares. And then this, I'm just going to set this aside. I guess for traveling. Whenever I do that, I don't do a lot of it, but I do it from time to time. And then the rest of these, I'm just going to keep these in my bathroom cabinet. I've got a space, and I carry duplicates of stuff. And that's because before I did that, I would always run out of things. Because I have 2 places. Right there beside the sink, I have a little drawer where I keep all of the hygiene items that I'm currently using. And then over in the cabinet, I have at least 1 backup. So it's like I've got an extra deal of toothpaste. I've got an extra toothbrush. Just an extra deodorant. Just whatever. And that's because I'm really bad at having it run out in the drawer and then I have nothing. So by keeping it in the cabinet, as soon as that's gone, it's like, I need to get one, I'll go get it, and it gives me plenty of leeway. And since I've been doing that, it's never happened. And it's just like, you're going to get it anyways. And the things are pretty damn small. So it's just, I find it absolutely the way to go with all of this stuff. Oh, and let's go ahead and finish up this here. So definitely want it to be plug-in, battery operated. Just doesn't make any sense because the motor on this too, it's larger, and so it gives good pressure. I would not use it on the 10 setting. They did say that was a little bit too much on these devices to use all the time. Maybe once in a while, just kind of make sure that you're getting it, but they really kind of recommended about halfway, about 5, and it's like, yes. And also cold water, it's like whenever you go and you bite into ice cream a little bit, where your teeth sometimes are a little sensitive to that cold. I was getting that sensation with this too, so I might have to actually have a little bit of warm water mixed in with it because I was just turning on just the cold side. And then multi-settings for the strength is an absolute must as well too. Then with the mouthwash, many of them talked about not using an alcoholic mouthwash because it also kills good bacteria and it dries out your mouth. Whenever I was little, I think that's all that they had. And now today, just with chemistry, that they're able to do really good mouthwashes without alcohol in it, so you don't have to jeopardize killing the good stuff. 1 bottle, I think, just isn't going to do any kind of harm that I'm going to worry about it, but after this I'm going to avoid it. It's just like whenever you take antibiotics just kill everything, and it kills a lot of the good stuff that you have in your body. And I know that that's something that they're working on. I have several family members that are in the medical field, and they've talked about that. You only want to use antibiotics, kind of a last-ditch thing. Try other things, or if you're just really in a hurry, then go ahead and take it then. But if you can avoid it, you may want to consider that. You don't want to. Few of them said don't use mouthwash after brushing your teeth. Do it later in the day by itself. However, I have found that not to be the case, and whenever I go over these, I'll explain that. There are 2 different kinds of mouthwashes. There is a fluoride mouthwash, and that is what you want for your teeth. It's going to deal with cavities in your enamel. And then you have an antiseptic mouthwash, which is more geared towards your gums and gum disease. And I guess because maybe one knocks out the other. So for example, one of mine was alcoholic in nature. So maybe the alcohol kills this, for example. So what do we have? We have two right here. Well, let's go ahead and scroll up before I get into this, and we'll just do it all at once. So with all of this information, and shopping, I'm also going to get baking powder next time that I'm out. And that's because, as you can see here, back in the day, Arm & Hammer baking powder was just the bee's knees with all this stuff. And you can see it says baking soda and peroxide. And they all have it, baking soda and peroxide. Gentle whitening, sensitive teeth gums, fluoride, anti-cavity. Maybe this one doesn't have it. Baking soda and frosted mint, whatever the hell frosted mint means. Baking soda and peroxide. And peroxide, you can buy peroxide in those brown containers. I saw some videos about that though, and they said you don't want to use that because that's for medical use, not for oral hygiene. In that medical use, they will put an acid and some other chemicals in it to help prolong the life of that. If you're really wanting to use peroxide for your teeth, then you're going to have to do a little bit of research to find it. I'm not interested in that right now because I just want to make sure that everything is healed and cleaned and just good to go before I get into that. So I think back in the day, they used to use bleach for all that. And bleach is harmful with your teeth, that it'll destroy your enamel, it'll cause cavities and all this stuff, and so people had a really hard time with it. Now this was, I think like 100 years ago or more. They didn't know what they were doing. It does whiten your teeth, but it also destroys them at the same time. And it was kind of the same thing with peroxide, especially if you're getting that in the brown bottle. And even then, whenever you're using it for your teeth like this, where it's safe for your teeth, you still kind of, that a lot of the doctors, the dentists were talking about, you should really only kind of use it about once a week. But I think that's also going to vary as to how much they're actually putting in the toothpaste, or if you have those little whitening strips, how much they actually have in it. So, and so like I said, this one was 40 bucks off of Amazon. I found it on eBay for 20 bucks. There were no water spots anywhere on it, and all of these things were still in the plastic, so I was like, yeah, that's great. And then with these, I bought a 60 count of these, and they said that whenever the tips start to get kind of loose, then you want to change out and kind of get the next one. I don't see why one of these just would not last for like a week. And with 52 weeks in a year, one of these packets will last well over a year. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if the thing will last for 2 weeks. It just depends. I mean, if you're just really going at it and just, then yeah, and you're probably doing more harm than good if you're just really being aggressive, just like with the toothbrushes. So I think if you're using them appropriately, it's like, yeah, 1 to 2 weeks. And it was $5. It comes to here it says 8 cents for one, so they're just dirt cheap. And I enjoyed using this more than flossing. I've always hated flossing. I don't know why, something about it, but this I enjoyed. It's from, I think Gum is the name, the gum store. They're the ones who do it. So, yeah. With the word pad here. And then one of these I did buy, and it's alcoholic. This one is, this one's not. And I don't want to be killing the good stuff in my mouth. But like I said, just doing one bottle will be fine. I mean, it's been around as long as I've been alive, and I don't think anything's happened bad to those people. I've never heard of anything at all. So, and they were vague about what it kills. So maybe it's killing stuff that would help you deal with bad breath. Maybe, I don't know. So with all of this information, I have put up there in the top what my routine with this is going to be. And so the first thing is that in the morning, I'm going to brush my teeth for about 2 minutes with more focus on the teeth than on the gums. And I'm just going to use a standard toothbrush for this, just to kind of knock all that stuff off. I just brushed my teeth before I went to bed, so I'm not going to go crazy with it. I think that's fine. Then I am going to wait 30 minutes before eating or drinking. So I will be doing this after I've had my coffee and breakfast, in other words, so whatever breakfast may be. And then about midday, I'm going to use the Antiseptic Mouthwash. So I did find the generic, and this is the name brand. I couldn't find the name brand, so this is Act Mouthwash, and this one is the Fluoride one. And it says fluoride right there. I don't know if you can see it, and I don't care if you can. This is the Antiseptic Mouthwash. This one is the generic. If you're ever at the store, there's no difference between this junk. It's just one will have a fancy label. They're really pushing their name, and you're going to pay more for it. And then the generic is just real plain and simple. It's just going to have it listed on there that there's no fluff to it or whatever. You know, Act, it's real big, and they're really trying to show it off, and it's all kind of shiny and lit up or whatever. So I guess they kind of have it lit up right there with the 88 watt. This one is an 88 approved. Yeah, it is. It's just not as big. So, but whatever. But on the backs with this one from Act, the directions say that you use this once a day after brushing your teeth. So whenever I use this one, I will use this one in the evening after I'm done brushing my teeth. But this one I'm going to use midday to help with gums and gum disease. Whenever you have your gums under control, if you have issues with them, whenever the disease has been dealt with, you really don't need this one anymore. So was that? Yeah, and so this one is the alcoholic one, so maybe this is the one to use. If you do have problems with your gums, it's just going to be like anything else. It's going to burn. You know, if you get like a little scratch and you put rubbing alcohol on it to kill everything, I mean, it's going to kill everything, but it's going to light you up. So it's going to hurt. It's going to sting. So maybe this isn't too bad. I'm not going to use this all the time. I'm going to use it maybe about once or twice a week. Maybe twice a week here for about a month, and then go down to just once a week after that, just to kind of keep everything in check. But with everything else that I have going on, I think that's just going to be overkill. But with this one from Act, and what I'm going to do too with both of these is that in Portland or Washington State and California, they've passed those laws where if you're stealing less than $1,000, so you can steal up to $900 worth of stuff, and they're not going to prosecute you with anything. So I saw this Seattle podcast where they were talking about, yeah, they're taking these items that they're stealing, and they go into Walgreens with backpacks and black trash bags, and they just fill up on the stuff, and then they leave on their bicycles, and then they sell this stuff on Amazon and eBay. It's like, that's what I'm going to do next time, because this is just lightweight. It was like a little less than $10 for this. It was a little bit more than $5 for this one, a little less than more than $5, less than $5. It was a little under $10 for the both of them. And I just wasn't, I wanted this sooner than later. But after this, it's like, yeah, I'm going to buy this probably kind of soon too. And you may be thinking, well, I don't want to contribute to all this thieving and stuff. And it's like, it's not your fault. It's not your problem. You've got nothing to do with that. They're all saying it's okay. And it's because the citizens and the government, they said that it's fine. And the stores said it was fine too, because if they wanted to, they could put this behind some kind of glass or plexiglass or steel bars or whatever, and it's under lock and key, and the only way that you could get it is with an employee to come unlock it, and they're not doing any of that stuff. Nope, they still have the stuff. You can just go up there and grab it. And it's like if they really wanted to, they could just close down the stores. I mean, if you've ever been to a pharmacy before, you know that they have medications that are behind the counter that they're too strong, that you have to go get a prescription from a pharmacist in order to get those. That they could just do that to the whole store if they wanted to. Just as soon as you come into the store, that you're just faced with the counter and you just can't come in, and it's just completely off with plexiglass. So think of it like a convenience store. You go in there into a gas station, and a lot of them, they'll just have a plexiglass and then the countertop, and then they have like a lot of the cigarettes behind the counter in the register or whatever. Well, instead of just doing that, they could just have it right there at the front door, just completely surrounding the front door if they wanted to. So there's options. They choose not to do it. So if that's what they've decided to do, then whatever. So I'm going to do it too. It's like, screw them. They've decided it's fine. So it's like, okay, I'm going to take what from these multi-billion-dollar companies because they've decided to virtue signal. It's like, okay, I'll do that too, I guess. But this one does say it's non-alcoholic, and that this is the one that you use after. But because this one is supposed to help prevent cavities and strengthening your teeth, I'll probably use this one a little bit more. This one I'll use 2 to 3 times a week. You know, just kind of depends. If I am drinking and I've had alcohol, I probably won't use either of these, because this is what, it's like 21% alcohol, I think is what it read. Yeah, alcohol level 21.6%. So if I'm drinking alcohol, which I don't do that very often, I do on occasion. So if I am, it's like I already got it covered. Why do it twice? You know, it's overkill again. So brush, wait 30 minutes afterwards. Then maybe I'll use the Antiseptic Mouthwash once or twice a week. And then in the evening, I'm going to use these little picks. You want to clear your mouth out of the stuff, and then to do the water floss. And the people who had all of this said, yeah, you still need to floss your teeth, because this is what's going to get rid of the plaque. But you're just not going to get all the food particle stuff, and that's what the water flossing thing does. And I've only used it twice, but it worked both times, where I had all this nonsense coming on out. And then after I've done both those, I'll brush for the second time with the electric. And 2 to 3 times a week, I'll use the Fluoride Mouthwash after brushing. Works on your teeth cavities. And if I can, I do not want the name brand one. I want the generic one. So it's like this with everything with pharmaceutical. Well, I mean, even with clothing and all kinds of stuff, you know, you got the name brand stuff. Then you have the non-name brand stuff, and a lot of times you can find the exact same thing without the name brand, and it's just as good. Ibuprofen. If you have Advil, Advil's just ibuprofen. I had a job, my first job whenever I was in high school was working at a drugstore. And that was one of the first things all those pharmacists told me. It was like, no, don't waste your money on that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. You're paying for the name like Act. If you do want to do it, instead of this Equate, the name brand version of this is Listerine, if you're interested in that. So that's what it all boils down to. You can take a little screenshot of this if you want, or whatever the hell that you want to do with this. I think this is all real sound right here. This sounds really good to me. It just seems like a bunch of good stuff. I wouldn't spend a lot of money on any of it. You know, at most it would be $40 for a little water flosser. Now they got more expensive. I think some of them got really expensive, but with this one, it's got 3,672 ratings. Those are just the people who did it. It's going to be like 10 times as many people who bought it. It has a 4.5 star on it. And if we scroll on down, I know these things got more expensive. Oh, well, a lot of these are just little handheld ones. Right here, there's one for 50 bucks. I think they got up to 100 bucks on some of these. This little thing right here is 300 bucks. That's ridiculous. But I mean, it's just like anything else. I mean, the prices are going to vary all over the place. This little thing right here, 70 bucks, is not even a water flosser. Or is it? No, it's a water flosser and a toothbrush. So, like, no, I don't need all that fancy stuff because that just means more stuff's going to break. This one here is 80. This one, it just had good reviews. It also comes in white if you were interested in white for some reason. Whatever floats your boat. If you are on YouTube, if you want to find this on YouTube, the channel is Practical Focused Improvement, and then I have a second channel called Freedom of Expression, where that one's more about news, current issues, politics, kind of dealing with lying, not trying to change anyone's mind, just that lying's going on. There's not any accountability and verification with all of that stuff. But with this, it's just, you know, what am I personally doing? So if you've enjoyed this, if you found this informative and it's like, yeah, hey, this all makes a lot of sense and I'm interested in this, you know, watch the previous videos that I've done about this so you can see the videos that I reference with this with the dentist. And I would appreciate it if you gave me a thumbs up and if you subscribed. That would mean a lot. So that'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Catch you again later. And sorry about the no voice thing. I'll keep a better eye on that. Bye.